This week we look at a thriving sector for jobs, careers in trade and manufacturing. But first, we wanted to check in on one of the most disadvantaged populations in Arizona, the homeless, and get an update on efforts to help them find stability. Last year, homelessness affected 37,000 people across the state, with nearly a quarter living in Pima County. Pima County's homeless population is the state's most dense. In recent years, that number has decreased thanks to collaborative programs that have led to employment and housing for some. One of those organizations making a difference is Old Pueblo Community Services. CEO Tom Litwicki told us about some of the ongoing challenges and solutions.
The big challenge to employment is if you're literally homeless. So most of the current shelter housing for folks who are literally homeless is only in the evening. And so in the morning you have to leave, and you have to leave with whatever belongings you have. So that makes it extremely difficult to use transportation, to apply for employment or attend classes, because you have all these belongings with you that you don't want to lose. Because the other thing about our shelter system is that you can't stay there the whole month. So at some point you will be sleeping outside, and so you still need your sleeping bag and all these other things that you have. One of the things you'll hear people say is that I can't get housing because I'm not employed, and I can't get employed because I don't have housing. So there's a significant portion of people who get kind of stuck in the homeless system at that level.
Are there resources available in Pima County to help people who are in that exact predicament?
You know, there is. There's a growing amount of what we call low barrier housing or shelter, and it's designed as a bridge so that people who are literally homeless can get into housing, and it's, you know, full 24 hours a day. They don't have a lease. It's not their housing, but it's an apartment. They may share that apartment if they're single individuals with other people. And while they're there, though, you've kind of addressed this crisis of where will I sleep tomorrow. They can stay there, they can store their belongings, they can store food, they can eat, improve their hygiene, and be ready then to go out and enter the workforce. Today in Tucson, if someone's experiencing homelessness, they can go, usually they're at the library, things like that. They go online and they look up tpch.net, and there's a list of agencies all throughout Tucson that you can walk in, and any agency will see you. What that does is it puts them on a list, and that list then is available for housing based on the severity of their conditions and their need. So it isn't a waiting list anymore, it's a dynamic list. It's like triage at a waiting room. If someone comes along with a much higher need, they would go higher on the list than you. It isn't like you get a number.
Are the people who are homeless, the majority of them would like to seek work, or they're looking for a temporary shelter while they're in between their position?
I think that people are looking for both. Work and shelter are the two big areas. I think we operate right now with the support of the city and the county a program called the Homeless Work Program. And so we go out into the community, and folks are screened by the shelter that they're able to work, and they can work without any barriers to employment the next day, and they earn Tucson's minimum wage, and they're paid in cash that same day. Just by having that intervention, we've seen about 40% of those individuals move into permanent housing. And so these are all services that are needed in the community. They pick up trash. So far this year, we've had over 50,000 tons of trash come out of the city. And this is trash, weeds, things that would not have been picked up otherwise. So we're not supplanting other work. This is stuff that there aren't resources for, and we can do it for much cheaper, and it gives people an opportunity to get a hand up.
Oftentimes we see the homeless in the downtown area. We see people holding signs asking for assistance, and there's probably a misconception that are there no resources for them? But I've also heard in other circles that Tucson, Pima County really has stepped up its game to support these individuals. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. So there are the parking meters now. I think a lot of times people have this kind of stress of, well, if I give people money, where will it go? What will it be used for? And that's a decision everyone has to make when they see panhandling. But for those who are concerned about that, we now have parking meters in which you can put either change or you can use a credit card, and that goes to homeless services. So more and more we're seeing an increased opportunity for people to support it locally, and a coordination of services at the local level led by the mayor, the county administrator, and The Downtown Tucson Partnership has been working with us out in the streets, helping people get into housing. So I think we're at a really important time with this problem right now, that not only do we have resources, but the economy's coming back. We have opportunities for employment for folks. So we're really at a time when the resources are all aligned in our community to do this.